Hello, my name is Martin. I'm a linguist and a translator. Welcome to my language channel. This is the second in a series of videos about English punctuation. In this video, we will look at the use of the comma in modern English. The comma, friend or foe. Despite the fact that English is the world's lingua franca, there is no regulatory body to govern its grammar and punctuation. In addition, nowadays, less importance is generally placed on punctuation. As a result, there is often confusion around the proper use of the comma. In my introductory video on English punctuation, I included a couple of classic phrases that explain how a comma can help in confusing situations. Here they are again. A woman without her man is nothing. Or a woman, without her, man is nothing. And the other one, let's eat grandpa, or let's eat, grandpa. The main purpose of the comma is to prevent ambiguity. Take a look at the headline of this magazine cover. Rachael Ray finds inspiration in cooking her family and her dog. Although this image turned out to be a fake, it shows how important commas can be. Rachael Ray is certainly no cannibal and would never eat her dog. Rules for using commas. Many English speakers tend to neglect the use of commas. The basic rules presented here are logical and can help you write with clarity. Rule number 1. Use commas to separate 3 or more words or phrases in a series. This is referred to as the serial comma or Oxford comma, although it is less common in the UK than in America. Please note that a serial comma is placed before the word and. Example, Rachael Ray finds inspiration in cooking, her family, and her dog. Rule number 2. Use a comma to separate adjectives of the same category in a series. Example, the girl was wearing a red, white, and pink kimono. One way to test whether adjectives are of the same category is to place an and between them. Red and white and pink. Another way is to change the order. White and red, pink and white. Of course, these are colors and obviously of the same category. But if you haven't seen my video on the order of adjectives, you may not know that the English language actually has a hierarchy for the sequence of adjectives that appear in a series. Here are the basic categories in their order of priority. Number 1, opinion. Number 2, size. Number 3, physical quality. 4, shape. 5, age. 6, color. 7, origin. 8, material. 9, type. 10, purpose. In other words, adjectives that express the speaker's opinion, such as beautiful or unbelievable, are placed first, and so on. If the adjectives in a series are of different categories, however, the commas can be omitted. In my video on the order of adjectives, I give this example. The girl is wearing a beautiful pink Japanese kimono. This sentence could actually read, the girl is wearing a beautiful pink Japanese kimono without the commas. Because the adjectives beautiful, pink, and Japanese are from different categories and are in the correct order, the sentence sounds right without commas. Since the basic purpose of the comma is to distinguish words and avoid ambiguity, commas should be omitted only if the sentence feels right without them. In this example, a comma after beautiful creates a slight pause and places a little extra emphasis on the word beautiful. In the first example, the girl was wearing a red, white, and pink kimono. However, there is no doubt that the commas are necessary because red, white, and pink are all colors. You would never want to write, the girl was wearing a red, white, and pink kimono without the commas. Rule 3. Use commas to separate independent clauses when they are joined by any of the 7 fanboys coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Examples: Marian likes reading in the library, comma, for everyone is quiet. She finds a secluded corner, comma, and the other students let her study without interruption. She does not have to pay to borrow books, comma, nor is there any charge for a library card. Mystery stories are exciting, comma, but they almost always contain violence. Marian will study all afternoon, comma, or she might leave earlier if she finishes on time. Silence is necessary to create the right atmosphere, comma, yet it can lead to boredom. And finally, the air conditioning is set to a moderate temperature, comma, so the students are comfortable. Rule 4. When a sentence begins with a subordinating conjunction, the dependent clause is followed by a comma. Here are the most common subordinating conjunctions. I won't read them out, but you can pause the video to take a closer look. Examples: before they opened the doors in the morning, comma, the library staff put all the return books on the shelves. If the book on my waiting list is available, comma, I will borrow it today. While I was waiting to check out my books, comma, I glanced at the videos on the media shelf. When a dependent clause follows an independent clause, a comma is not required. The library staff put all the return books on the shelves before they opened the doors in the morning. I will borrow the book today if it is available. I glanced at the videos on the media shelf while I was waiting to check out my books. Rule number 5. Use commas after introductory words such as yes, however, well, here, now. Examples: yes, comma, that's the book. However, comma, I think we should wait until the library opens. Well, comma, I don't know about that. Here, comma, the verb is in the present tense. Now, comma, we really need to consider a better plan. Rule 6. Use commas after introductory participial, infinitive, absolute, and prepositional phrases. Examples: participial phrase: studying in the library, comma, Marian found the silence beneficial. Infinitive phrase: to get a good seat, comma, she always comes early. Absolute phrase: the fire drill finished, comma, the students returned to their studies. Prepositional phrase: in a few minutes, comma, the library will close. For more information on participial, infinitive, absolute, and prepositional phrases, check out my video on clauses and phrases. Rule number 7. Use a pair of commas in the middle of a sentence to set off clauses, phrases, and words that are not essential to the meaning of the sentence. Use commas wherever necessary to prevent possible confusion or misreading. Examples of non-essential elements set off by commas: the new librarian, comma, who used to work in Austin, comma, has introduced several important changes. Next example: Marian checked out her favorite Agatha Christie novel, comma, although I don't remember which one, comma, from the library. Next example: Tom, comma, who was wearing a red shirt, comma, sat near the exit door. Example of a comma used to prevent confusion or misreading: let's eat, comma, Grandpa. Rachel Ray finds inspiration in cooking, comma, her family, comma, and her dog. Rule 8. Use a comma near the end of a sentence to indicate a contrasting thought or a pause. Example: Jacques was tired, comma, not exhausted. Bob was excited about the results of the test, comma, almost exalted. You're in my English class, comma, aren't you? Question mark. Rule 9. Use commas to set off addresses and geographical names. Example: 112 Colonial Drive, comma, Albany, comma, New York, comma, USA. 10 Queen Elizabeth Way, comma, Toronto, comma, Ontario, comma, Canada. She lives in London, Ontario, Canada. Florian was born in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. Rule 10. The customary date format in American English requires a comma after the day. In British English, it is customary to write the day first without a comma. American format, July 4, 1776, April 14, 1865, November 22nd, 1963. British format, 21st April 1926, 6th February 1952, 2nd June 1953. When only the month and year are cited, neither format requires a comma. April 1926, February 1952, June 1953. Rule 11. Use a comma to separate titles and names. Examples: Ryan F. Brown, MD. Diana, Princess of Wales. The Honorable Joseph R. Biden, President of the United States. Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of her other realms and territories, Queen, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith. Rule 12. Use a comma before a quotation in a sentence. Example: Betty said, I'm looking for a good mystery book. If a sentence begins with a quoted statement, use a comma instead of a period at the end of the quotation. Example: I'm looking for a good mystery book, explained Betty to the librarian. If the quotation ends with a question mark or an exclamation point, no comma is used. Example: Can you tell me where the fiction section is, asked Betty. I have been looking for this book for a long time, exclaimed Betty with delight. Now let's review what we have learned about commas. The main purpose of the comma is to prevent ambiguity. This video suggests 12 rules for using commas in English. 1. Use commas to separate 3 or more words or phrases in a series. 2. Use a comma to separate adjectives of the same category in a series. 3. Use commas to separate independent clauses. 4. When a sentence begins with a subordinating conjunction, the dependent clause is followed by a comma. 5. Use commas after introductory words such as yes, however, well, here, now. 6. Use commas after introductory participial, infinitive, absolute, and prepositional phrases. 7. Use a pair of commas in the middle of a sentence to set off clauses, phrases, and words that are not essential to the meaning of the sentence. 8. Use a comma near the end of a sentence to indicate a contrasting thought or a pause. 9. Use commas to set off addresses and geographical names. 10. The customary date format in American English requires a comma after the day. 11. Use a comma to separate titles in names. 12. Use a comma before a quotation in a sentence. So that wraps it up for today's video on the use of commas in English. If you have found this information helpful, be sure to like this video and click on the subscribe button for more like this one. Thank you so much for watching.